If you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, stop and listen to me carefully. This is not happening because you are getting older. It is happening because of something sitting on your kitchen shelf right now. And the disturbing part is, almost nobody has told you. Here is how serious this really is. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults over 65 with significant lower body weakness had a 72% higher risk of losing the ability to walk independently within just 5 years. 72%. That is nearly 3 out of 4 people who could have done something about it, but did not, because they never had the right information. But here is the good news, and the reason you need to stay with me right now. There are 6 specific foods that can rebuild leg strength, restore muscle tissue, and bring back the stability and confidence most people in your position have given up on. I am Dr. William Carter, and the number 1 food on this list is something you were probably told to stop eating. Researchers at Harvard Medical School now consider it one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to anyone over 60. I am saving that one for the very end, because once you hear it, you will never look at your grocery list the same way again. Now, quick and important. Everything I share today is general wellness information grounded in published research. It is here to help you ask better questions and be your own best advocate. It is not a replacement for advice from your own doctor who knows your personal history. Every study I mention today is linked in the description below, so you can read it yourself. Before we start the countdown, I want to ask you something personal. Leave a comment below and tell me your age and whether your legs have been feeling weaker, heavier, or less steady than they used to. Maybe stairs are harder now. Maybe getting out of a chair takes more effort than it once did. I read every comment on this channel, every one. And your story might be the reason someone else finds this video and changes their life. So take 30 seconds and share. Now, let us begin. We are counting down from 6 to 1, from powerful to genuinely life-changing. Food number 6, eggs. Coming in at number 6, and this one surprises almost everyone I tell it to. Eggs. Yes, the food you have been warned about for most of your life. They raise your cholesterol. They are bad for your heart. Put them down and walk away. I am here to tell you, with the full weight of current nutritional science behind me, that telling seniors to avoid whole eggs may have been one of the most damaging pieces of health guidance ever widely circulated. Here is what eggs actually do for aging legs. Eggs are one of the richest sources of leucine on the planet. Think of leucine as the key that starts the engine of muscle repair. It is the amino acid that triggers your body to actually build and restore muscle tissue. After the age of 65, your muscles develop something researchers call anabolic resistance. That means they become stubborn. They stop responding to weak protein signals the way they used to. They need a much stronger trigger to get the same result. Leucine is that trigger. 2 large whole eggs deliver approximately 1.6 grams of leucine, and research from the University of Illinois found that amount was enough to meaningfully restart muscle building, even in older adults with significant resistance. But here is what makes eggs truly special, and it is the part everyone throws in the garbage: the yolk. The yolk contains choline, vitamin D, and a compound called phosphatidylcholine that helps protect the membrane around every single muscle cell. As we age, those membranes become more fragile, less capable of holding on to the nutrients muscles need to contract and recover. Throwing the yolk away is like buying a car and leaving the engine at the dealership. 2 to 3 whole eggs in the morning is the target. Add a small amount of olive oil or avocado, because the healthy fat helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in the yolk. Cook them gently. Low heat, soft scramble or poached. Do not blast them in a hot, dry pan. Eggs restart the engine. But what happens when that engine is sitting inside a slow-burning fire? Because for a lot of people over 60, it is. That brings us to food number 5. Food number 5, wild-caught salmon. If your legs feel heavy, if they cramp at night, if they ache the moment you wake up in the morning, there is a very real chance that chronic inflammation is quietly destroying your muscle tissue while you sleep. And wild-caught salmon is one of nature's most powerful weapons against it. Think of inflammation inside your muscle tissue like a forest fire. It starts small, it burns constantly at a low level, and over years and decades, it chars everything around it. The muscle fibers, the connective tissue, the nerve pathways that carry signals from your brain to your legs, telling them to move. The omega-3 fatty acids in salmon, EPA and DHA, are the water-bombing aircraft. They do not just soothe the fire, They chemically neutralize the inflammatory compounds your body produces in increasing amounts after the age of 60. A study from the University of Aberdeen followed 87 adults over 65 for 18 weeks. The group consuming omega-3s, equivalent to about 3 servings of wild salmon per week, experienced a 22% increase in muscle protein synthesis rate compared to the control group. 22%. That is not from a supplement, that is from a fish. And salmon has a second gift almost nobody talks about. It is one of the very few dietary sources of vitamin D3, the active form of vitamin D that your skin can no longer produce efficiently after the age of 70. Research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that vitamin D deficiency, which affects an estimated 77% of adults over 65, is directly associated with muscle weakness, impaired balance, and accelerated muscle loss. One serving of wild-caught sockeye salmon delivers nearly a full day's worth of vitamin D in a single meal. Eat salmon 2 to 3 times per week. Wild-caught is critically important. Farm salmon has a dramatically different fat profile and does not provide the same anti-inflammatory benefit. Pair it with a handful of dark leafy greens, and that is the perfect transition to food number 4. Food number 4, spinach and dark leafy greens. Think about every older person you have ever seen who still moved well, who got up from a chair without pushing off the armrests, who walked without shuffling, without hesitation. I would be willing to bet that dark leafy greens were a regular part of their diet. Here is the biology of why. After the age of 75, your body loses approximately 35% of its ability to recycle nitric oxide, a molecule that acts like a traffic controller for blood flow in your legs. When nitric oxide levels fall, the tiny blood vessels feeding your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your calves, begin to congest. Nutrients cannot get in. Waste products cannot get out. The result is muscles that fatigue faster, recover slower, and shrink year by year. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and arugula are loaded with dietary nitrates that your body converts back into nitric oxide. You are essentially using food to bypass what aging has taken away. A study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that nitrate supplementation at doses equivalent to about 200 grams of spinach improved muscle efficiency in older adults by 19%. The muscle did not grow bigger, it simply became more efficient at using the oxygen and nutrients already arriving. Think of it like upgrading the fuel injection system in an old engine. The engine does not change, but it runs smoother, cleaner, and longer. Spinach is also extraordinarily rich in magnesium, a mineral that 68% of Americans over 60 are chronically deficient in. When your legs cramp at night, when your calves seize up, when your feet curl involuntarily, that is almost always a magnesium signal. 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers roughly 37% of your daily magnesium requirement in a single serving. Always cook your greens in a quality fat like olive oil because it dramatically increases absorption of the fat-soluble compounds. 2 cups of sautéed spinach daily with olive oil and garlic is the target. And if this information has already opened your eyes to something you did not know, take 1 second right now and tap that like button. It tells the algorithm to share this video with more people who need it. And subscribe if you have not already. Every week, this channel brings you evidence-based, practical health information designed specifically for adults who want to live stronger, longer, and on their own terms. Now, number 3. We are in elite territory, and this is a food most people completely underestimate. Food number 3. Full-fat Greek yogurt. Most people think of yogurt as a light snack, something you eat when you are trying to be good. What most people do not realize is that full-fat Greek yogurt is one of the most anabolically powerful foods available to the aging human body, and it is dramatically underutilized as a muscle-building tool in seniors. A single cup of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt contains approximately 17 to 20 grams of high-quality protein, along with the exact amino acids, including leucine, isoleucine, and valine, the branched-chain amino acids that are absorbed directly into muscle tissue with remarkable efficiency. Unlike many plant proteins that require combination to be fully utilized, the protein in Greek yogurt is what scientists call highly bioavailable. It does not take the scenic route, It goes directly to where your muscles need it. But here is the piece that truly elevates Greek yogurt beyond a simple protein source. It contains live probiotic cultures that influence something researchers now call the gut-muscle axis. This is a relatively new field, and the findings are extraordinary. Research from the University of California, Davis, found that healthy gut populations in older adults were directly correlated with greater lean muscle mass, better leg strength scores, and faster recovery from physical exertion. Your gut is not just digesting your food, it is regulating how much of that food your muscles can actually use. After 65, the gut microbiome typically becomes less diverse, less robust, and less efficient. Probiotic-rich foods like Greek yogurt help restore that diversity. Think of it like restocking a library that has been slowly losing its books. The more complete the collection, the better your body can find and use the information it needs. Consume your Greek yogurt within 30 to 45 minutes of any physical activity, even a short walk. This is your anabolic window, the period when muscles are most receptive to protein signals. Add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for additional omega-3s, or a drizzle of raw honey, which helps support probiotic survival. And always choose plain, full-fat versions. The low-fat versions typically replace fat with added sugar, and sugar feeds the very inflammation we are working to fight. And now, number 2. Earlier in this video, I told you one of the top foods would genuinely surprise you. This is the one. Food number 2, beets. Number 2 is beets. I can see some of you smiling. Some of you are skeptical. I understand that completely, because beets are not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about building strong legs. But the research behind beets and physical performance in older adults is so compelling that major sports medicine institutions have now integrated beet-derived compounds into their recovery protocols. This is not folk medicine. This is frontier science applied directly to the aging body. Beets carry the same dietary nitrates I mentioned with spinach, but in concentrations roughly 3 to 4 times higher per gram. One medium beet contains approximately 300 milligrams of dietary nitrates. When those nitrates reach the oxygen-depleted environment of working muscle tissue, they convert into nitric oxide with extraordinary efficiency. The result is what researchers call a vasodilatory cascade, a wave of blood vessel opening that floods your legs with oxygen and nutrients in a way that aging vascular tissue normally cannot produce on its own. But here is the finding that genuinely stops people. A study conducted at Wake Forest University found that older adults who consumed beet juice equivalent to 2 medium beets before moderate exercise showed a 38% increase in blood flow to the brain regions responsible for motor control. Let me say that differently. Beets did not just improve what was happening inside their legs. They improved the brain's ability to control their legs. For anyone concerned about balance, coordination, or the nerve-to-muscle communication that erodes with age, that finding is enormous. Beets are also rich in betaine, a compound that reduces homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine, which affects approximately 47% of adults over 60, is associated with accelerated muscle loss and impaired mitochondrial function. The mitochondria are your muscle cells' power generators. When they are damaged, your muscles run like a car with a failing battery. Betaine helps protect those generators. Roast your beets at 400 degrees for 45 to 60 minutes to concentrate the nitrates without destroying them. You can also blend raw beets into a smoothie with a small amount of citrus juice. The vitamin C in citrus dramatically increases nitrate conversion efficiency. Do not boil beets for long periods because the water-soluble nitrates leach out into the cooking water. Pair beets with any source of lean protein, and you have one of the most powerful pre-activity meals available to the aging body. And now, number 1. The food I told you about at the very start of this video. The food that Harvard Medical School researchers have identified as one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to humans over the age of 60. The food that has been unfairly demonized, avoided, and eliminated from the diets of millions of seniors based on outdated science. Stay with me because this will change how you think about fat entirely. Food number 1, extra virgin olive oil. Number 1 is extra virgin olive oil. I know some of you expected a protein powder or some exotic superfood, But what I am about to explain about extra virgin olive oil and the aging muscular system will fundamentally reframe how you think about fat, inflammation, and what it takes to build a strong body after 60. Let us start with what makes extra virgin olive oil categorically different from every other fat you can eat. It contains a compound called oleocanthal. Oleocanthal is a natural polyphenol that functions in your body almost identically to ibuprofen, the same mechanism. It inhibits the same inflammatory enzymes, COX-1 and COX-2, that prescription anti-inflammatory medications target. The critical difference is that oleocanthal does this without the gastric bleeding, kidney strain, and cardiovascular risk that come with long-term use of those drugs. For seniors who are disproportionately reliant on anti-inflammatories for joint and muscle pain, that distinction matters enormously. But the muscle-specific benefits go far beyond anti-inflammation. A landmark study from the University of Athens followed 840 adults over the age of 65 for 3 years. Those who consumed a minimum of 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily showed a 37% lower incidence of sarcopenia, which is the medical term for the progressive involuntary loss of muscle mass and strength that begins around age 40 and accelerates dramatically after 60. 37% lower from olive oil. Here is the biological mechanism that Harvard researchers have found most compelling. The polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil appear to directly stimulate what is called the mTOR pathway in muscle cells. The mTOR pathway is the master switch for muscle protein synthesis. It is the same switch leucine activates, the same one resistance exercise activates, the same one anabolic hormones activate. Olive oil polyphenols flip that switch on independently. They do not require exercise. They do not require elevated hormones. They work inside the cell regardless of what else is happening around it. After the age of 70, your body loses approximately 40% of its mTOR sensitivity. Your muscles become harder to build, not just because of less exercise, but because the biological machinery that builds them is running at diminished capacity. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the very few dietary compounds that appears capable of partially restoring that sensitivity. Think of it like recalibrating a thermostat that has been stuck too low for too long. And then there is the mitochondrial dimension. Research from the University of Jaén in Spain found that hydroxytyrosol, another polyphenol found abundantly in extra virgin olive oil, protects the DNA inside your muscle cells' mitochondria from oxidative damage. As we age, that DNA accumulates errors, like a manuscript photocopied too many times. The copies get fuzzier, the instructions get corrupted. The result is muscle cells that produce less energy, recover more slowly, and eventually stop functioning altogether. Hydroxytyrosol appears to slow that degradation by neutralizing the reactive oxygen species that cause the damage in the first place. And here is a detail that ties everything together beautifully. Remember when I told you to pair your eggs with olive oil and to cook your spinach in olive oil? That was not random. The fat-soluble vitamins in those foods, the vitamin D in the eggs, the vitamin K in the spinach, the polyphenols in the olive oil itself, they all enhance each other's absorption. When you combine them, the total effect on your muscles is significantly greater than any one of these foods eaten alone. That synergy is the real power of this list. For practical use, 4 tablespoons daily is the evidence-based target. Use it as your primary cooking fat for low to medium heat. Drizzle it generously over vegetables, eggs, fish, and legumes. Buy extra virgin olive oil in dark glass bottles from reputable producers and look for a harvest date on the label, not just an expiration date. Polyphenol content degrades with time and light exposure. Fresh olive oil is medicine. Old, clear-bottled, bargain-shelf olive oil is just fat. Here is everything in one place, and I want you to screenshot this right now so you have it the next time you walk into a grocery store. Eggs to restart muscle building, wild salmon to put out the inflammation fire, spinach to reopen blood flow, Greek yogurt to power the gut-muscle connection, beets to flood your legs and your brain with oxygen, and extra virgin olive oil to flip the master switch back on. 6 foods, available in virtually every grocery store in the world. And as I just explained, they work best as a system. When you eat them together consistently, the combined effect on your leg strength, your inflammation levels, your mitochondrial health, and your daily mobility is dramatically greater than any single food can achieve on its own. Now let me leave you with this. You were not built to become a passenger in your own life. You were not meant to watch from the window while your grandchildren play in the yard. You were not designed to hold the railing going downstairs, to skip the family hike, to sit out the dance at the wedding because you are afraid your legs will not hold you. That is not the destiny written into your biology. It is a consequence of information that was never given to you, and today we gave it to you. It is never too late. I say this not as encouragement, but as a clinical fact. Muscle tissue in the human body retains its capacity for growth and repair well into the 9th decade of life. The research is unambiguous. Your body wants to rebuild. It is waiting for the raw materials. Your job, starting today, starting with your very next meal, is to give it those materials. Tell me in the comments which of these 6 foods you are going to add to your diet first. Tell me how your legs have been feeling. Tell me your story, because this channel exists for you, not in the abstract, but for you specifically with your name and your history and your particular version of this journey. I read every comment. I mean that sincerely. If you are not yet subscribed, do it right now. Every week, we bring you evidence-based, practical health information that your doctor may not have time to cover in a 15-minute appointment. This community is growing because people like you are sharing it with people they love, and that matters more than I can express. Until next time, eat well, move daily, and never stop believing that your best years are not behind you. They are waiting for you to claim them.